The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the show. A little later, we'll talk to Josh Adelson about Boeing and why do Boeing workers keep striking? And is Boeing retaliating, by the way? That's kind of a key question, too. Chris Christie is not running for president, and he made that clear a number of times, but still, mainstream corporate media insisting on wide coverage of a basic, boring old Chris Christie speech at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California the other day. This proves, Lewis, how desperate Republicans are to have someone run that they actually like and can win. Because I have to be honest with you, a big priority for a lot of the people that are funding the Republican Party, like the Koch brothers, as you know, is being anti-union and being anti-labor. And we know that Chris Christie's record on being bad for unions and bad for labor and working people is a pretty damn strong record, is it not?
Yeah, and does Rick Perry not share these sentiments?
Rick Perry does, but he hasn't been as proactively anti-union as Chris Christie has. And he actually went out there and gave a speech, and we talked about Republicans were cheering when Ron Paul was alluding to letting someone without insurance die. We saw Republicans booing merely at a gay soldier being gay and being a soldier. And now, during this Chris Christie speech, we actually saw people cheering for when a ton of jobs were lost as a result of Ronald Reagan. This is downright bizarre. This is red meat. People losing their job, apparently, is red meat for Republicans. Here's Chris Christie. And is the volume up on that, Lewis?
The air traffic controllers, in violation of their contracts, went on strike. President Reagan ordered them back to work, making clear that those who refused would be fired. In the end, thousands refused, and thousands were fired.
So, about a half second of hesitation, people actually unsure, should we be clapping for thousands of people losing their jobs? But then the crowd got itself going and everybody said, yeah, that's something we can get behind here. We like Chris Christie and we are Republicans and we like clapping when people lose their jobs. Thousands of jobs lost is something we can get behind. Any surprise, given the booing a gay soldier and cheering people dying without health care? Not to me.
No, it seems like these audiences are willing to cheer for just about anything, regardless of what is being said.
If you're just trying to figure out what exactly are Chris Christie's anti-union credentials, which is clearly one of the reasons why Mitt Romney and Rick Perry may not be enough for many Republican donors, Christie's cuts in New Jersey resulted in the layoffs of about 10,000 teachers in what is the most densely populated state of New Jersey. And Christie really playing on a lot of this rage now that exists about unions and successfully being able to cut funds in a way that 10,000 teachers losing their jobs, those are serious Republican credentials, Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, is this really becoming an issue right now? I mean,
well, he's not running. He made it clear he's not running. So,
but are we going to hear this in the next debate?
We may. What we're very clearly seeing is that there is serious desperation on behalf of the big-time Republican funders because they aren't happy with the field right now, and they are practically begging Chris Christie to run. Hey, I saw an interesting picture of Chris Christie walking next to President Obama, and Chris Christie is a larger man, and a couple people sent me emails saying, when you see that picture, Chris Christie could never beat Barack Obama in an election because when you look at them, Obama appears to be fit. And even though, is Obama still smoking? I don't know if he's still smoking or not.
I think he quit.
He did quit?
Did he?
In any event, he appears to be the picture of good health. And Chris Christie really looking very, very sloppy and overweight. And people saying just because of how the American public is in the electorate, the fat guy is not going to beat the thin guy. It's just not going to happen.
It's true.
What do you think of that?
It's absolutely true. I mean, look at X number of presidents going back how far? I mean,
to Taft, I guess.
Yeah, there just aren't any heavy ones, and it's usually the better-looking man who wins the election.
Oh, really?
It usually is, yeah.
That's on your radar big time.
We did a story about this. Maybe you forgot.
Well, what's interesting is Bill Clinton had a penchant for fast food, but he appeared somewhat healthy when he was president. Yeah, Natan.
I was just going to say that it's kind of weird because I guess in terms of physical appearance, Americans don't want to elect someone that's just average. But in terms of intelligence, they definitely want them to be just like a common man.
Oh, well, no, I would say below average. In terms of intelligence, you can go very far down, but in terms of physical appearance, I guess the requirements are different.
No, I think the people want someone who's intelligent. I think the people want someone who's highly intelligent. They just can't tell because they are not of the same intellect.
So you think Bush voters thought Bush was a smart guy? That's what you're telling me.
Oh, of course.
I disagree a little bit because people talk about how Obama is professorial and they have all these like anti-intellectual euphemisms to talk about him. So there's clearly like a conscious thing about not having someone who's too smart be president.
Right, no, because like if you're John Kerry, it sounds a little bit too nuanced. Your explanations are a little bit too nuanced for the American public. The other thing, too, is we talked, speaking of physical appearance and being overweight, if Sarah Palin were overweight, we wouldn't know who Sarah Palin is. Sarah Palin never would have been the vice president. I think we all agree on that. We all seem to agree last time we talked about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree on that, Natan?
I do.
And if anybody disagrees with me that Sarah Palin could be who she is if she looked, I'm not going to say specifically, but if she had a different physical appearance, email me, david@davidpakman.com. I don't see it. And by the way, Michelle Bachmann wouldn't be where she is now either if it wasn't for the fact that she is thin and appears quite a bit younger than she actually is, and her makeup's together. I think it's a big factor.
No doubt.
All right, no disagreements.
No.